With some of the recent xTool Studio updates, there are some big features that really make a difference to the way that you actually use the software. So in this video, I'm going to run through some of my favorites that will genuinely help you improve your workflow. So let's get on with this one. This is a 2-for-1, okay? And what I'm going to do, I've hidden the background, but I'm going to show you the background now. You'll see I've got a coaster positioned centrally using my jig, and it means that I know exactly where it is. What I want to do is I want to put some text around the outside perimeter of that coaster and also some text in the side of it. In the past, you had to manually arch it, and it's a bit fiddly. In this case, though, we now have a new feature we can use. What we're going to do is we're going to draw a shape first. So I'm drawing a circle and I'm holding Shift so it's uniformly created. You'll see there, and I am centrally positioning it, and I'm going to make it 90 millimeters. What I will also do is change it to a red layer just so that you can see it, and hopefully you can. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to type our text. So I'm going to put, if this video is helpful, please subscribe. There you go, simple as that. It's a long piece of text, and in the past, you could drag that there and you can roughly get it right, but it's a bit hard and it's not exact. Well, what we can do now is we can get an exact path around that, and I'll show you how. So let me change that to pink, just so you can clearly see it. Now drag a box using the left mouse button over everything so you've got it selected. Right click anywhere in that workspace, and now if I zoom in here, you're gonna see a new feature, attach text to path. This is what we're showing you for the first one. So I'm going to select that, and you'll see that has now perfectly positioned our text around the circle we draw, and you can do that with any shape. So now that we've done that, what we can do is using the bounding box and the grips, you can actually select it and just reposition it to what you need. I'm quite happy with that, and then make it nice and central again, or do whatever you need to do. And then what you can also do is with the actual size of it up here, you can click that up arrow, and as you see, it's gonna position it more and more around that circle to get it right around there. And that looks pretty good. I mean, if I go for 32 here, there you go. That is now perfectly spaced, fully circular around our shape. And if we centrally position it, we now have our text around our coaster. If we click away, you'll see that is absolutely brilliant, and that's a great feature. So let me show you the 3 feature that's gonna be bounded in with this one. So I'm gonna show you the next thing that's been added, and it's very similar to this. If we type in more, so I'm gonna put in Chris from L3D, that's me by the way, and I'm going to put it centrally on here again, and I will change it to a blue layer, and I'll make it engraved. So there's our text. What I would like to do is, I mean, that looks okay, but I want to be able to make this text look unique and look really cool. And before, you pretty much stuck with the font and the size. That's all you can do. Now, however, if we select our text, up here, there is a new feature called Warp. And if we click on that, there are lots of different styles, which I'll scroll down, that can now change the way our text looks. And let me show you the one I'm going to use here. If I click on flag, you'll see that is now giving us a really cool flag, a wavy flag feature. We can adjust the warp value up so it makes it even more extreme. We can adjust it down so it's the opposite direction. You can also adjust the perspective of it if you want to adjust the horizontal perspective so it kind of goes left to right. There are boundless things that you can do here, and it's really cool. You can change directions as well, but personally I really love this, and I think it just adds a really cool element to this. So I am going to leave it with the flag, the default one, and there you go. If we zoom out now, we've got circular text around the outside, we have flag text in the middle. Really easily, we've created a cool customizable coaster right there. So let's move on to the next one. This next one is one that people have been asking for a long time, and it involves photographs, okay? And you're probably wondering, where's he going with this? Well, I've got a picture of a dog here, and we have a wallet with a unique shape on it behind. And what I would like to do is to do a nice cutout of that picture, a nice mask that will allow it to kind of follow the contour of the item and ultimately cut it out and have the dog looking really cool on that. And normally you could probably draw around this first, but actually what I like to do is have the picture there first so that I can position it nicely and draw the shape at the same time. We can do that now, and I'm going to show you how. So in the past, you couldn't adjust any kind of opacity of it. Now we can. If you select your image, then you go into the adjust button there, and right there, just at the bottom is new. You can click or you can drag it down, and you'll see it makes makes it transparent. And why is this really useful? Well, I'm going to show you right now very quickly. So I've got my photo there. I can position it onto the item now in a position where it looks good. And as you can see, his face is filling that out nicely. Then what I could do in this case is use the vector pen tool. And this is going to be very quick and crude, by the way, but I will quickly show you. You can drag a nice shape around it. And like I said, this isn't going to be anything particular special. This is just me quickly doing something on the screen for you so you can see it. We've got a curve around that, very, very crude. Then we're going to draw that around there. Then we're going to join at the top. And we know, because that image is opaque, we know that is going to work. So if we drag a box around both of those things, select create mask, hit done, we now have a cutout shape onto our item, which is really unique and really, really helpful. But my job there is terrible. And I think you'll find very, very good feature. This feature is another great addition to the software. And if I give you a bit of context, in the past, if you wanted to copy and paste a design from one tab to another like this, then your settings that you applied would have just got lost in translation and you have to reapply them. Well, things have changed now, and let me show you. So I have a blue vector image here and an orange one. And if you look at the settings over here, when I select each one, it changes their settings because I've done some testing for color engraving and this is what worked well. Now, what you can do is you can actually copy and paste, and we're going to do it. So we're going to select it all, right click, copy, go into a new window with nothing assigned to it and paste them in there. And now if we select them both, and I'll zoom in over here again so you can see, if we select them both, you will see the settings have copied across with it, which I think is brilliant, because if you want to reuse different designs in different workspaces and different kind of blanks, this is going to enable you to do that, which is a great, great addition. If you've ever done coin embossing, 3D reliefs, that kind of thing, you'll know you need a depth map image, which is a shaded image that tells the software how deep to and how many passes it needs to do. And usually you have to generate that externally and bring it in. Well, the next update is a way to do that fully on the workspace, and I'll show you it. We start off by going to our process mode on the right here and selecting the embossment mode. And then you always get greeted by this message: in embossment processing, you need to use depth map images. Well, previously you had to do it outside, save it, import it in. Now everything can be done internally, and you'll see I have a brass coin here. I have a picture of my dog Ted. I am going to roughly put him there, but it's not important at this point. But the important thing is if you click on your image, you will see AI emboss as an option on that toolbar at the top. If we click on it and then come to the left, it will allow us to generate the emboss for 6 credits. So we're going to click that and we're going to let it do its thing. As you can see, it has generated our depth map image, and it's so good that you can do it in that we can tie this in with what we did earlier, which is reduce the opacity of it as well, so that we can roughly position it on our coin. I mean, we could do this first. So there you go. We know that is in the right position. We're going to right click, create a circular mask on that, adjust our image on it, and then click done. And then what I will do is I will also do a cutout of that black background, which I forgot to do at the start. And before you know it, let's adjust it so it has its opacity back up. You have a full depth map of a photo, positioned, shaped, and done all within the software. And for me, that is a great thing that they've added, and I'm sure it will do an excellent job. If we click on that preview button down there, we can take a look at it, and there you go. That's what it'll look like. This one is another great feature that's been added, and I am a CAD user. I do 3D design, and this is something that you've been able to do in 3D design for a long time, and I'm just happy they've implemented it. So what is it here, you ask? Well, let me change this to red first. And basically, in the past, traditionally, if you wanted to move it in terms of its X or Y position, so its position in relative to the bed, you can either manually put in your amount there, or you can just physically drag it, okay? So that's all well and good if you know exactly where it needs to go. However, in some cases, you might want to do minute adjustments to a precise amount. The same with the width and the height of it. You can just change it to 60, for example, there, or 50. And it will do it. That's all well and good again, but there is now a new way to do this, which makes life a lot easier if you want to just adjust things minutely. And what you can do, for example, is you can take, let's just change the width to 50. If you wanted to make that 55 or add 5 millimeters onto it, what you can do now is just type in the +5. And what it does is it updates it based on what you're doing. It can do calculations. So you could do 55 divided by 2. That is now going to do that. And that is useful if you want to make quick, easy adjustments without having to actually remember remember what you want to change it to. The other benefit is the position. You could do 75 plus 10. It's going to move it to 85. This is something that is really kind of specific to certain people. You might not have a use for it, but I wanted to make you aware for it because I personally like the fact that you can make those micro adjustments and do that, and I really love it. So the next thing is a new generator they have added, and it is called Halftone Maker. And as it says you can create professional halftone and dot work textures from your images in seconds. So let's open it up. We're going to click new, and what we can do is import an image, and I am just going to go with a dog here in this case, and it will open it up, and you have a load of sliders on the right over here, and you can basically specify the dot spacing, and you can create those kind of cool comic book style effects. And if I just adjust some of this up, it's probably not the best picture to show you it on, but I'm just giving you an idea of what you can do with it. And there you go. So you can adjust things and you can create cool styles of images. You might have a use for this. Personally, I don't, but you needed to be aware of it just so that you can do it. There is a color selector, so you can actually change it to different types of colors like that. And then you would just click the export button there and import it onto your workspace, and you're good to go. Some small changes overall, but a couple of these features are absolute game changers and long awaited. I think you'll agree. If this video has been helpful for you today, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We have so many more great tutorials and xTool Studio tutorials that will help you hit the ground running. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.